Hey guys, I have already recorded this video. And then my daughter called. I'm like, hey babe, she called back to back because I denied it first. And she called again and I thought, oh shit, maybe something's wrong. And she was like, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm like, I just stopped this whole ass video. Anyway, I wanted to share with you guys what I came across as I was doing laundry and that kind of thing. There was downloads that I got, and when I talk about downloads, I talk about where you're almost in autopilot. You're almost in like this, you're kind of between dimensions, if I would say, because like all the things that you've thought about and that kind of stuff, like work and kids and school and all the plethora of thoughts that go through our mind. When you're vacuuming or even you're driving or say even in the shower, that's a great place to meditate. You know, that's a great place to kind of go on autopilot and adjust some of your thoughts, you know, bring some thoughts back up to the forefront because, you know, like we get thoughts throughout the day and then we just kind of put them back here. You know, we'll come back to that. But the one thing that I got this morning was it's not your time. So this is your sign. If you were asking for anything from universe or anything like that, the impression that I got is I understand, like I view life as if like we're standing in lines and you know like there's people in front of us or there's people behind us or there's levels and that kind of thing. Well, you're patiently waiting and I feel like there's kind of a frustration like, well, when is this going to happen for me, or when am I going to get this, or when is that going to happen, right? You have like this kind of expectation, which is ego, in your mind. It's not your time. You know, and I have to learn to be patient with that too, because at one time, I would say about a year ago, I knew that there was going to be this tower moment of events that was going to have collateral damage and I was going to lose a lot within my realm, right? You know, I like to talk about gardens. Your garden is your house. You're inside. What goes on behind closed doors, right? What you put on the outside of that, if it's roses, but it's ass on the inside, then you know, you need to start making changes and clean your garden out. But I knew I had to do that kind of thing where it was like I needed to really get in there with like a bush hog, you know, and try to get those things that were no longer serving me out of that garden. And even then, it's almost like I stood there like, I know it's time. It's time. Because I procrastinated for 2 years because I knew people were going to get hurt with the decision of filing for divorce. You know, I knew that. And I knew that there was going to be a disruption within like our family dynamics. Well, now I'm like, okay, I've done all this work. I've done the self-development, the healing, I've shadow work, trauma bonds, educated myself on mental disorders and that kind of thing. Because really at one time I thought it was me. And I wanted to fix myself so bad that I was like, what is wrong with me? You know, do I do this? Well, no, I don't do that. Okay, well then let's take that off the table. Do I do this? Yes, you do? Okay, we're going to keep that on the table and we're going to work on that later. You know, so when I started to go through and do the self-development and the shadow work for myself is kind of when I also started to divulge the people around me, because I was kind of like, whoa, but that person does. I don't do that, but that person does. Let's make notes. Let's do that. You know, to be able to reconstruct my mind. If I'm getting into my garden and what has been planted is indoctrinations or beliefs, your morals, your integrity, all this stuff, this is you, right? If you don't get in there and really start to figure out what is a flower, what is good, or what is a weed, bad, it's just going to become like brush. Like at some point you're going to have to get a bush hog in there and start to till that dirt up to get those roots up, because what you have to remove is the root. So if you're removing the root of the problem, go back with me, then you can figure out what it was, where it stemmed from. Wasn't an indoctrination. And it is heartbreaking because for a long time you're thinking it's this way And then you kind of look at it again, you come back to it, bring your awareness back to it, and you're going, okay, yeah, that's actually reality. Okay? Everything else is a simulation. Everything else is an illusion. Everything else is what you've created in your mind as to what it is, right? When you go back to reality, I was gonna go back to life, but you know, when you go back here, then, and you start to really see the picture. I felt like I had a lot of the puzzle pieces, but I felt like I was too scared to put them together. Like, I saw it. I saw it, but I didn't want to really, like, acknowledge it. I didn't want to have to swallow that and go, damn, that's my fucking reality. Like, whatever you think that it is, it's not, you know? And I had to unlearn myself, unindoctrinate myself, all the things. And when I started to do it, yeah, it's heartbreaking because you're just like, but then you start to think, well, but they are too. They're indoctrinated too. So you can't really fault them because they were just teaching or doing what you've done. But now that you're on the other side of it and you're like, holy God, what is his? You know? And then you start to see all the pieces that come together is when it's a light bulb. You see it. You can't unsee it. It's like taking off the rose-colored glasses. You can't unsee it. So if it's not your time, that this is your sign. This is, if anybody was asking anything, you know, like, should I do this? Should I not? Should I wait? Am I in a hold? Should I push forward? Where do I go with this, like, movement? Because the last time that I ran cards, I got the Chariot, and that's movement, you know? So just be patient. And I understand that, like, in my mind, I have, like, people standing in front of me, and I'm just like, I've done the work. Like, God, over here, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just, you know, it's not my time. I don't know what this person in front of me, where they are in their ascension. I don't know where they are in their development and in their cognitive abilities. I don't know that. So I can't, you know, like, judge, falter, put anything egotistical into this person, and the next person, you know, all these people that I feel like are in front of me. All I can do is control myself. All I can do is, and I know, like, the first time whenever I was going through this and I would hear somebody say that, it did irk me. All you can do is sit and work on yourself. Okay, fuck off. You know, like, you don't understand the other little things that have happened. There's details, just like whenever you watch Netflix and you're watching a movie. Like, my eye catches the things that are off, the hair out of place, the two frames that went together, but the person in this first frame was maybe like this, and in the second frame there's something else, you know, like, you know, I catch that. My autistic ass catches that. And the details that are in your actual storyline, not everybody are gonna get. You know, when we're out in public, we only show certain details of our garden. And then we go back into the house, and then we get the garden, you know, like whatever's in the garden. So if it's alcoholism, if it's sexual addictions, if it's gambling, that's a low, dense, greed, gotta have, addiction, egotistical, it's so 3D, right? So when you get up here and you start to look at all the things and you're able to have a broader awareness, your perspective is a little bigger, it's further, right? You're able to see at all angles. You can see the people above you, right? And then you can also see the people that are behind you that have not done any of the ascension work. Like you've brought it to them several times, and either they're snubbing it or they are accepting it. Like they hear you, but they don't think anything's wrong with them, or they're not, like, they could be kind of like, okay, yeah, I can see where that, but they're not going to do anything within themselves for it. And that's fine. That's the ascension. I want to be up here. I don't want to live my life in this 3D dense matrix anymore. And the majority of it is man-made. It's our illusion. It's the simulated reality around us. And it doesn't help that technology and that kind of stuff, like and I'm guilty, all in my phone all the time, you know. But here's where I think there is a slight difference. It's all in moderation. But for me, I think if you are educating yourself and you're on your phone for educational purposes, like following Dolores Cannon, following Abraham Hicks, following these people that have done the ascension work, like leaders, they're up here, they're way up there, they're way further than me. And here I'm like, it's not your time. Okay, be patient. I trust you. I trust it. You surrender, you trust it. You know? So the ascension process is, I don't want to do this. I think astral projection and telepathy, I think that kind of thing is exciting. Not the Johnny Depp, which I think that was triggering. You know, that was, I'm glad it's in the forefront. I'm glad that people are starting to become aware of disorders, you know, of the chain reaction and the patterns and tactics and traits and everything that goes along with it. And I don't care if you don't have some degree in knowing what that is. I don't have a degree in knowing what narcissistic personality is, or bipolar, or depression. If you educate yourself enough on it, why do I need a paper? You know, I understand what it is. I see the traits. The traits line up with the patterns, with the manipulation. The lies fall into place. It's a web. When you can figure out that web, just like on the spiritual side, when you figure out Metatron's cube and the Tesla 369, it's magical. I don't care about people's fucking webs anymore. That's not what my life, I don't want to do that. I don't care. I'm sorry that you're way back there. I don't want to be there. I want to be up here with Metatron's cube and angels and, like I said, telepathy and psychic mediumship and understanding your energy. Tesla said when you can start to understand your energy, understand what you are, you're an energetic field on its own. You have like a whole ass energy bubble around you. So if I get into your energy, I could feel, because I understand my energy, I understand why I'm feeling things. I understand, like, when a sensation comes over, I'm like, ooh, that's not mine, but what is that? Where'd that come from? You know, but if I'm in your energy and I start to feel a kind of a tingle of a sensation of a feeling that I've had before that I've already cleared out, but I know what it is, then I can pinpoint your shadows. I know what you have or haven't done because I've already done it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like mastering something. So say let's go cheerleading. You've mastered your round off back handspring full. Mastered it, right? You can pretty much, and you've done it a million times. It's just like fluid water to you now. You can pretty much watch another person, guy or girl, I don't care, do the round off back handspring full. And maybe they didn't land it right, or maybe they, had to roll out of it or whatever because they didn't land it right. You can see what they did wrong within that pattern, the tumbling pass. Oh, well, she didn't do this. You know that, you can see it because you've already mastered it. You understand that when you hit that round off back handspring, you better hit the floor and get up in there, spin. You got to spin at this time. Okay? You've already mastered that. Now you're looking at this other person. Again, I'm repeating myself because let that simmer. It's the same with our traumas. It's the same with our childhood wounds. We've already seen it. We've already felt it. We understand that you don't spin at this fucking time. You're going to land on your head. We've already done this work. So now when you get into somebody else's energy, it'll blend. You can block it. You can shield it. You can put up mirrors, do a mirror effect with your own energy. You have to learn to control it. So if this is not your time, it's not your time. Good job. You've done great work. We're here. We're just in line. We're ready. Come on, God. I'm ready for my blessings. But I'm glad I said that. I did a TikTok the other day because I think manifestations are so important. and gearing yourself up with the right intention to get that manifestation. Like, you can't be a lazy ass and just be like, I want this and I'm not gonna do shit for it and let me have it. No, that's not that. There has to be an exchange of energy and a frequency that you have to be up on to match that, to get that, right? So the manifestation, if you are doing good things and clearing karma and doing the things that you're supposed to, paying this forward, right? Goodness of the heart, no strings attached. There's not like these, you can't like, oh, well, I paid for so-and-so's coffee behind me, and then go like tell 10 people. You know, like, I feel like you kind of, I don't know, I feel like you kind of like voided it out. You know, because you did it with this intention to, I'm going to go tell everybody that I'm a good person. Okay? I think that's sweet of you. But capture that blessing. And stop giving blessings away. That blew my mind. When that came through my mind one time, I was like, and I do. Things will come up for me and I'll be like, hey, this is, you know, I'll introduce the blessing comes in and I align it with somebody that I think would need it or appreciate it. You know, like, I don't hold on to it and keep it for myself. I do that. I'm sorry. I do try to watch myself, like, when somebody comes in with something, or if somebody comes in with, like, even a compliment, if they say something or whatever, and I'll direct it on somebody else. Oh, well, so-and-so's shirts, it got it off of me. Which then I blocked it. I'm not even accepting this person's, like, good energy to me. Oh, you look cute today. Oh, yeah, and so does da-da-da-da-da. I just said, whoop. No, take the energy. That person just gave you some good energy. You know how you talk about, or I talk about, energy vampires. People do this, right? All day to your ass. Let people do this. You know, let people, when somebody gives you a compliment, say thank you. It was really hard for me to do that at one time. And now I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just giving energy away. I'm giving blessings away. No, as soon as somebody's like, hey, you look really nice today, or hey, good job on that, or, you know, hey, you did a really fantastic, like, the way you thought about that and put, you know, that's really good. Also, those are little timelines, like your stamps within your timeline to kind of go, yes, other people do recognize my effort. Other people do recognize my intention for things. You know? So when you capture all of those, I think is when it's like, okay, you're allowing other people to put into your cup. You know, I like to talk about cups. Oh, that was it. That was the third one. Cups. Cups, a garden, and a hotel. Your hotel floor is the ascension. Where you are, right? Are you on the third floor? I don't want to be down there. I want to see. So I'm going to stand up here with these people. You know? And then you have your garden, which is your life. And then you have your cup, which is you. This is your cup. What are you putting into it? What are you taking out of it? What are you allowing people to take out of it? And I have a huge problem with boundaries. Probably shouldn't say that, but I do. You know, and I'm learning to control that, master that, in a very nice kind of, like, you know, way. Because it has taken me a while to recognize it, and I think I recognized it in the 2 years that I was procrastinating, because I started to, like, really get into my journal. I was journaling everything. Like, I have typically one here, I have one on my desk, and then I have one by my bed. So anytime that a thought or projection or anything like that comes into my head, I'll write it down wherever I'm at. Excuse me, why am I burping? Spirit's probably here. But the fact is that you may think that you're ready and that you know what you're doing, or you see the timeline, but you don't. And that's okay. You know, and when you recognize that and come to peace with that, like, you're like, okay, well, I want this right now, but right now is not my time. to be either recognized or maybe even, you know, like maybe you're at work and you're like, I'm doing all this shit, I'm doing this, I'm coming in early, motherfucker comes in late all the time, she just got a raise, all the things, right? It's not your time. Because maybe your boss is looking at you like, okay, I know this girl, if I don't offer her this, you know, position, it's gonna hurt the company or it's gonna hurt in the long run, right? So let me hold on to little Jenny, but I'm gonna put this person in this place. I know that she's gonna fuck up. I'm gonna allow her to step on her dick. Then I'm gonna remove this person and I'm gonna allow the person that actually deserved, you know, the placement into the placement. So maybe it's something like that where it's just like, allow things to unfold the way that they're going to. Because again, maybe your boss is like, I know she's always late. I know she's not on time with her paperwork. I know that she's doing this. I know that she's whatever. He knows that or she knows that, whoever your boss is. And it's just timing, divine timing, right? And maybe at this point, you really are okay. Like you really are okay. You're just wanting to push it. You're just wanting to be patient. Allow yourself to simmer in the ocean. Remember, like your little raft. That's your emotions. Just be there, you know? But it's not your time yet. It's coming. I do feel the energy where I'm like, y'all, it's right here. I can see it. I'm just waiting for it. You know? So I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a good day.